Method EU versus Perplexed.
Don't you dare call me daughter, witch.
All right, so both Method EU and Perplexed running up that left-hand side towards the Heartsbane Triad area as to not proc that Witch. The Witch will actually global combat you, so all of these guys will end up like trying to stay out of combat as much as they can with all the trash mobs. So making sure that they don't pull that Witch is fairly important.
Yeah, that's if you're on that right-hand corridor, then the Witch spawns, but if you go the left-hand way, it doesn't.
Yeah,
Both teams decided that one's not something they want to fight, which makes sense, because it filters into the pack late and everything. And that's really unfortunate for damage efficiency.
Perplex got Sister Selena down to 36%.
36%? Excuse me? Look at Wolf Disco there. He's just popping off.
Yeah, Mira's on the side of Method EU also popping off. Method EU kind of got the trash pack grouped up a little bit quicker, so they were able to pull Heartsbane
Well,
Triad.
Method EU has pulled more trash here, so their damage numbers are higher, whereas Perplex is just hard focus these bosses. But actually, Method EU now pulling ahead in terms of their progression in the boss fight here. They have a little bit less damage on Sister Selena, but they've just been blowing everything up here.
Method EU also, it looks like they grabbed that garden, that captain patrol that was out in the courtyard, not in the courtyard, but in that hallway area that's right after Triad, and pulled them into the boss. That's fairly scary for your tank, I will admit, plus the frontals that go out from that guard. What is it, like Soul Cleave or something?
Shadow Cleave, yeah.
Shadow Cleave,
that's a nasty
what it is.
one.
That could be fairly scary, especially in a triple melee comp like both of these teams are running.
Yeah, I mean, they have, ways to play around it if they're confident. It just adds so much extra stuff they have to do to the fight. They have to have somebody looking to gouge those Shadow Cleaves and interrupt the captain's defensives and stuff. But, their Method EU, they decided that they could do that pretty easily, and it looks like it worked out well for them, and now they've got a lot more mob count than Perplexed, and they've got a lot less trash to pull in the rest of the dungeon. Although I think Perplexed actually may have picked up some trash during this boss fight as well, because they were at 4% earlier, and they're now at 7%.
How are you feeling about the Rogue versus, like, we've seen Demon Hunter in here before? Brings magic damage buff for both of the Death Knights. Whereas I think the notable utility of the Rogue is the ability to be able to kill explosives, plus that Tricks of the Trade to be able to redirect threat towards the tank. Do you have a preference over
the Tricks? The Tricks is definitely going to help a little bit, stopping the Death Knights from getting... we've seen it happen in this tournament before, where those Death Knights just get auto-attacked because they've done 20 times as much damage as the Prot Warrior, and there's no way the Warrior's ever holding threat. Look at the snap coming out, though, from Method EU. They are snapping onto the fountain here.
Interesting.
And then,
Did they Tricks him with the
snap!
No
Look at that,
way, dude!
That's wild! So they
Okay. So for those who don't know, Gingy put Tricks of the Trade right on top of Now. Now gets in that snap spot. Gingy then walks up, tags Soulbound Goliath with that Tricks on him, teleports Now, and all of that trash that was sitting on top of the fountain, and snaps the whole entire pack onto it. Miras and Frag blow up that trash pack. Method EU is so far ahead now, and look at trash count differential. So Method EU is a solid 10% enemy forces count ahead of Perplex, and while both of them are at 79% on the boss.
And they're going to pick up even more of these patrolling dogs that they missed the first time, bringing them into the fire along with the Soulbound Goliath. Look at that efficiency. They got the reset on the boss mechanic there, and they dragged the trash into the fire to have it take extra damage.
Not one bother given was about resetting Soulbound Goliath. That was the straight
Yeah,
up.
that was just for the dog damage.
Oh my goodness.
And now I bet we'll see them pull some more trash from the hallway as well here. Perplexed are cleaning up as well. They are going around with the Soulbound Goliath, pulling a bunch of trash. Looks like they got an unfortunate lightning strike there, though, onto the Soulbound Goliath. That can always happen where it just resets it when you were not planning.
Yeah, Zamak looked like he was getting prepared to get ready to pull a trash pack off to the side there, but that lightning strike right beneath that mob is going to kind of slow them down. Perplexed now does pull that double Thorn Shaper Thorn Guard pack.
Gingy now on a stealth mission. He popped his Vanish, I think, or a Lightfoot, and ran in, grabbed a bunch of mobs, and is coming back out now, bringing some extra enemies. And that's one of the things that Rogue brings for you as well. The ability to go with Tricks of the Trade and do that kind of stuff, and a huge suite of defensives as well. So even though he looks pretty low on the damage meters, he's providing all sorts of utility here, and he's handling all the explosives, so Fragments and Mirrors really don't have to worry about that at all.
Method U is playing this dungeon abnormally aggressive. I don't think we've seen a team play this dungeon this high octane before, where they're just slamming every single mob in a Soulbound Goliath. They're going to be at about 50% trash count after
Yeah,
this
they
boss.
have done 2 pulls this dungeon. They pulled onto the first boss, and then they pulled onto the second boss. Gingy about to go down, though, as that bleed really ramps up on him with the raging mob that applied it to him, but he's going to be saved by Zalia there. Zalia, we're looking a little bit low on mana, but I think they're going to be able to escape this boss fight and give an opportunity to drink afterwards.
Next expansion, Rogues will have Shiv available to be able to dispel Enrage, but alas, not currently.
Yeah, that's good. That's what Rogues need. A little bit more utility, I feel like, is really what we've been requiring out of that class.
Yes. I 100% agree with Dratnos there. Zalia's looking a bit parched, like you were saying. Gingy gets stunned by that Soul Thorns. Matthew does down Soulbound Goliath about the same time as Perplex. But look at the enemy forces differential between these two teams. Perplex is at 26%.
They are in the Huntsman's Lodge.
I like this pull by Perplex.
Yeah, this is a large pull from Perplexed. It's going to get them a lot of count, but it's not onto any boss. What is now up to? I think now might be...
Oh
yeah,
my goodness. Are they going into Raw?
Pull number 3 of the dungeon is going to be on to Rawl the Gluttonous. So 3 pulls, 3 bosses, and like 75% trash is what we're going to be seeing out of Method EU here. This is wild. Method EU have just advanced the game again here with their strategy. And look at the damage of those Death Knights as everything just evaporates.
So whenever you create like an MDT and you have somebody who doesn't like separate it up into pulls but instead clicks all of the pulls into
that's what Method E has done.
Yeah, that's what Method E has done. Literally 3 pulls, 3 bosses, and Dratnos was about right. Probably 75% of the trash count. I would suspect that they're going to pull the kitchen area as well to be able to get more than 75% trash count. Perplex is on to Rawl the Gluttonous as well though, but it's taken 1 more pull to get here.
Yeah, Perplex decided to do a trash pull without fighting a boss at the same time. A little weird coming out of them there, but they are onto Rawl, a little bit higher on health on Rawl, but they're actually doing a pretty good job here of keeping pace with Method EU. Given how aggressive Method EU's pulling have been, you know, they're only 20% behind on the boss, and they have a little bit more enemy forces, although Method EU are going to pick that up when all this trash that they're about to pull onto the boss joins the fun.
Yeah,
You'll
so
see now, He runs over during the Tenderize cast of Rawl the Gluttonous because Rawl is not normally something you want your tank to walk away from, but while he's busy with that Tenderize, it is safe to do so.
I would still advise to not do that for all the lovely people at home. It's very dangerous, and if he casts his Consume All ability, then you're going to full wipe.
Yeah, that is not something you want to see. Method EU, though, getting further ahead on trash count as a result of this. They're keeping Rawl the Gluttonous about 20% lower than Perplexed, but yeah, Perplexed actually, this is still very much anyone's game here.
Okay, so something that Perplexed did yesterday in their match versus Deplete from Beyond is after Rawl the Gluttonous, they play double Obelisk together. So they play Urgroth, Breaker of Heroes, and I believe it's Samrak, Beckoner of Chaos at the exact same time. That allows them to save some time and only play 2 Obelisks with the final boss. I think that made be like a big equalizer here. Depending on what Method U's strategy is for how they're going to play some of their obelisks.
Yeah, the boss is dying here. Let's see if anybody goes off in separate directions. Looks like they're going to finish off this witch here. I see Gingy sort of cheating towards that courtyard. Yeah, and he is going to run out towards the courtyard. So I think they may be doing double obelisk here as well, because Gingy is going to go and activate that one in the courtyard with Urgroth, Breaker of Heroes. And here they're going to activate Samrak, Beckoner of Chaos, and Method E will be doing that double obelisk strategy as well. This is really efficient, right? It's kind of 2 obelisks for the price of 1, because you get to fight them at the same time, you get to cleave pretty efficiently, and you still get the benefit of now only having 2 obelisks with Goraktal, making that fight a lot easier.
I mean, Perplex is within 20 some odd seconds of Method U there, with Rawl going down. Both teams also having 0 deaths here. Quite impressive, I will say. Samrak, Beckoner, Chaos, and Urgroth, Breaker of Heroes, both melee incredibly hard. So while doing double obelisk here, it does save you a lot of time. Very scary for your tank, I will admit.
Yeah, the tank, especially when that Spirit Breaker cast is going around. Neither team has a Beast Mastery Hunter to pet taunt every Spirit Breaker, so they're just having to face tank those, and that is not an easy thing to do. Method EU not bothering getting out of that Dark Fury cast. They're just going to tell Azalea to heal them.
Okay, so now Perplex is running down into the bottom area of the Manor, where it looks like Method U is still in that kitchen area. If they kill Urgroth here,
they're going to have to
be in
shroud.
a worse position. They're going to be a worse position though, in like relative to the map than Perplex is going to be. And
yes, but they're able to finish this quicker, right? So they're not doing, you know, they're not inefficiently dragging a mob and trying to cleave it at the same time and like waiting for its cast, right? They're just killing it in one spot, and then they've got their Shroud and Lightfoot here, so they're doing this movement faster, and they did the pull faster, but they didn't get to do them at the same time.
Exactly. I think ultimately it's probably a little bit quicker to drag it, especially with like a triple melee comp. But
Yeah,
how
when
much
you look
quicker?
Perplexed, I guess they've only killed one of their two enemies here. So yeah, Perplexed it's probably gonna keep the time gap about what it was before between the two teams.
Yeah,
Maybe
Method U has
time a little
pulled-
bit saved though by Perplexed.
Yeah, Method U has pulled Lord and Lady Waycrest. Now with all of the trash inside of inside of this room area, now you watch Mirrors and Fragments' damage pop off as soon as all those mobs do get dragged out of those candles. Both of the DKs being very patient to make sure that all the mobs did get moved out of them. Otherwise, they would have wasted all of their damage. I think we've all been there, where we dump a lot of damage into the candles. Ooh,
Yeah,
Mirrors dropped so low. Oh my goodness.
So does now as well. A lot of
that
damage
a
coming out
5
on the
stack?
side of Method EU.
Is that a 5 buff on that Rune Weaver, I think? Okay, so that Rune Weaver did go down while enraged, having a 5 buff. That was kind of scary.
You see Method EU pulling a little bit. I guess they're kind of losing some time here to Perplex. Perplexed are kind of blasting damage on this pull. May have had a little bit less time spent inside those warding candles as they are advancing to the same phase of the fight that Method EU are now. 30% separating the two Lord Waycrest health totals.
Oh my
This
god.
is going to be so close.
I can't say anything but just watch. It's like, it's so insane that... Okay, so now Method U is going to be spawning Lady Waycrest right here, where Perplexed, once they do get the get Lord Waycrest to 30% health, then Lady Waycrest will spawn herself. They're probably within, what, 15 to 20 seconds of one another?
Yeah, this is 15 seconds or so, I'd say, separating the two teams.
Yeah, we're gonna be able to see...
Wild, given... Like, how is Perplexed able to keep up, given all of how much bigger Method EU was pulling without anything going wrong? I don't understand.
All right, so yesterday, let me take a look at what Perplexed's time was. So yesterday, Perplexed had a 15:25 run in Waycrest Manor with 0 deaths, and they lost to Deplete from Beyond, who had a 15:21. Does this seems like it's going to be about on pace with that, right? At the 15:20 range.
Yeah, I mean, 15 minutes even, maybe. I guess it's a tyrannical Gorak toll with some trash, but...
Exactly. With all the Gloom Horrors and with double
The
Obelisk.
spider and the blob, yeah.
The spider is notoriously annoying, especially to play with the blob, because the spider can get caught out into that that purple goop that blob does drop. But having double DK, access to 2 ranged kicks is fairly nice. Perplex is going to be downing Lord Waycrest here momentarily. Method EU is already onto Gorak Tool. They Lightfoot Potion all the way in, pulling all of the Gloom Horrors in their path, pop Bloodlust, and now they are just nuking down all these mobs. It's really important to watch Now's health right here, as he is probably going to be the breaking point for something like this. In an enraging environment with all of these Gloom Horrors, it can be very scary as a prot warrior, so you need to make sure that he's looking pretty healthy. He's still sitting at 100% HP, and all those Gloom Horrors are already dead.
20 seconds later, Perplexed have pulled the same boss. They are popping their Bloodlust as well. They're going to need to do a lot more damage to catch up to Method EU, or something is going to have to go wrong on the side of Method EU. Neither of which is particularly typical of Method EU, but they have happened.
Yeah, so basically, once Gorak Tool dies for both sides, then the dungeon will end. There is no death differential here, bar some catastrophic failure. I don't suspect that anybody's going to die, so basically it's going to come down to just who ends up killing Gorak Tool first. And right now,
Perplexed
they're
have it
within
5%
of
behind.
one another. Yeah.
They're focusing Gorak
5
Tool,
buff?
not even worrying about that Voidweaver Malthier at all.
At this point, you're screaming, please roll a 5 buff. Like, you're just
That
kind
could
of
be the
hoping-
difference. Gingy doing... Wow, they're actually... Everybody's doing so much damage on both sides here. Those rogues and the tanks in just a completely another level, though, compared to those Death Knights. 2% now, 5%. 5% separating these two teams. Looks like Method EU have the slight edge, but it is going to come down to the wire here.
It's going to be a race to the finish. The gap
4%.
is... yeah, 4%. Oh my goodness.
3% separating these two teams. Perplexed. Second pots.
Okay, Fragments and Mirrors both have just popped their cooldowns. They popped Blood of the Enemy as well. Gorak Tool should be going down here momentarily. Perplexed. Looks like they're going to be losing Malk 1.
14 minutes, 25 seconds. Method EU finish Waycrest Manor. And Perplexed, with the second best run we've ever seen of Waycrest, are going to lose to that.
Wow, that was extremely close at the end there, but Method U is going to take that first game